I'm Josh Foli. I've served as the comptroller for Lyon County in charge of all their finances. And I also, under a contract basis, take care of all the finances for the city of Yerington as well.
And you've done that for how long now? How long have you been in Yerington?
I've been in Yerington for 21 years now.
Oh, okay.
And I've been serving as the county comptroller for about 9 years.
9 years?
And the city, I've been doing that for about a year and a half. They had some reductions in staffing, so they contract with the county to save money in these tough fiscal times.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been here for 21 years. We were just talking earlier, you got your son graduated from high school here?
Yes, my oldest boy just graduated from high school, and then I've got 3 younger boys that are still in school district and a daughter that's 6 years old, so I've got quite a few kids here.
So your general feeling must be, if you're staying here, it's a good place for your kids to go to school and your family to live and all that?
Yerington's a wonderful place to have my kids go to school and for the family to be. There's a lot of activities and outdoors that we can take the kids on. It's a small community. You don't worry about people, about your kids playing out on the street at night, those type of things. And, well, not at night. You don't worry about your kids playing out on the street, and your neighbors look out for you.
Or in the town. They can
town.
pretty much go around town and be okay.
Yeah, I tell my kids basically, if you don't want someone to know what you're doing in Yerington, you better not be doing it, and I'll find out before you actually get finished.
Hey, what do you like to, I mean, do you get out in the countryside here much? Do you hunt, fish?
Yep, our family, we love to get out in the outdoors, and we do hunting and we do fishing and just getting out, picking up pine nuts in the mountains and enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we're talking about today is the fact that we've got this bill in front of Congress, the Yerington Land Conveyance Bill, and the request or provision that Senator Reed wants for a wilderness in the South Pine Grove Hills. Are you familiar with the South Pine Grove Hills?
I am. I've hiked up there. I've hunted in there. I've driven around and fished and all of that.
Right. So you're familiar with that area. You know, there's I hear a lot about like Fisherman's and Raccoon Beach and the Elbow, and you get up on top and you're up there in pretty high country.
Yes, it's beautiful country. It's really nice to go out there with the family and enjoy fishing in the river. You're out away from everyone, and up on the mountains you have views that span for miles. It's beautiful.
Now you have kind of a inside perspective because you work for the county and you've kind of followed this issue for a while. And I do want to talk about the county a little bit because you know we're talking about what's at stake here. But you know they've worked over the last few months. A number of people have been involved, including the congressional delegation, to address this proposal for a wilderness that's been around for a few years. How would you characterize that? It's been a controversial thing, hasn't it?
It's been a very controversial thing. A lot of people in rural Nevada really enjoy access to their wilderness or access to their lands, and so you've got a lot of people going back and forth and strongly opposed to a wilderness area. I will say, looking at the wilderness map that has been drawn, it's been very well done on the map in the area that's been picked, and it's really accessed only by foot or horseback currently, to my understanding anyways. And so designating it a wilderness area, I don't see that it's going to create any harm at this point based on the map that's been proposed. Yeah, so it is quite a bit less than what was discussed years past. I think the current recommendation is that's being considered. Of course, the county board still has to get input on it and consider it, but that's about 48,000 acres, and it's quite a bit less than what was previously proposed, right? Yes, the change is significant for the residents in Lyon County. If the original one would have gone through, we would have restricted a lot of current uses that are being done on the lands, and the area that's being proposed looks like it's a much better area than what was originally proposed.
Yeah, well, good. Well, part of what we wanted to talk about is giving everybody a perspective of what's the state of the county, what's the state of this community, and you're the county comptroller. You know how things are. How would you characterize the financial health of the county and the city right now?
I would say that, like a lot of other areas out there, we've been hit pretty hard by the recession, the economic downturn, and we're still bumping along the bottom, if you will.
Yeah.
So this this lands bill is very important both for the city of Yerington and Lyon County financially, for jobs for the citizens who are here. We have the highest unemployment rate in the state, and also for the functioning of the government for the citizens, so that we can afford to provide basic services such as sheriff and library and roads and those type of services, which right now we're deferring a lot of the things that we really should be doing due to a lack of funding.
What just approximately, the county has had quite a few cutbacks in the last few years, is that not correct? What, in a percentage basis, what has that been, just because you don't have the tax revenues, right?
Right, the tax revenues have declined significantly, and they have in a lot of areas, but it's impacted us to where we've cut over 25% of our staffing and cut back on library hours. In fact, looked at even closing down libraries. We haven't had to go to that extreme yet, but we're still having challenges, and this next budget process I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, it's not going to be any easier next year, right?
No, at this point it's not going to be any easier.
Yeah. So would you care, you know, I've heard people pose the question, what's the urgency here? Would you say there is an urgency?
I'd say there's a huge urgency for the people of Lyon County and for the government. I mean, when we take a look at what we're doing, we still haven't hit bottom in Lyon County. Property tax rates, or property taxes, we're looking at finally leveling out after many years of declining. Sales taxes have leveled out a little bit, but the way the formula works on our revenues being distributed from the state on the sales tax, we're looking at a number of years before we are able to even cover CPI on our expenditures. So that means that we have to have further rounds of cuts as we go forward.
So right now, it's inevitable. There are cuts both at the county and city, probably just to survive.
Just to survive, I don't see any way around it at this point.
Right. So there is, safe to say, there's a little bit of an urgency to do this. So, I mean, from your personal perspective, you know, what's being proposed now by a number of people that have, including us, I'll say that, you know, I've got put in a position that I could get, Nevada Copper could get the benefit of the land transfer if the bill passes, and one of the conditions on the bill passing was a wilderness. And so we've tried to come up with a compromise, not just Nevada Copper, the city, the county, other people have had input in it, and
my personal perspective on the land transfer and the work that Nevada Copper has done to get all of that together and moving, and they've done a lot of work, is that it's a very good thing for our community to move forward. Haven't always been a huge proponent of wilderness areas, especially the large one that was originally proposed, but the current one I think is a reasonable accommodation, if you will, and Nevada Copper has done a great job on working together, and I think it's essential that we get Nevada Copper's process moving forward so that we can start making some progress and some headway on our financial challenges in this county and city.
Yeah, you know, everybody's kind of got to find a middle ground somewhere, is what it comes down to, you think?
I think so. I think in this last election process, we saw the big division in our country between the different parties right now, and taking a look at it, a lot of it is there's not an ability to compromise at our federal level, and for us to be able to sit down and responsibly show that we can make compromises and move forward and help everyone out, I think that's essential.
Great. Well, thanks for talking to us today, Josh, and we'll see what it'll be an interesting few weeks here in the next several weeks.
Yes, it will. Thank you.